Dice Hospital. This is your review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe Gerba. Today I'll be going over Dice Hospital and how it plays with 2 players. Now Dice Hospital is a 1 to 4 player game where you'll be taking in these ambulance patients, improving your hospital, sending workers around to heal people into different wards of different variable illnesses. Any patients that are dealing with neglect, they're going to get even worse. You're going to try to discharge as many patients as you can and set up for the next round, and then over 8 rounds, whoever has the most points, whoever discharges the most patients wins the game. So see a little bit more how to play. So in Dice Hospital, you're going to have these ambulances out here, and the first player is going to take one of the ambulances, and on all these dice represent the sick patients. So the higher the number, the better off they're doing, but the lower the number, the more life support they're going to need. So I kind of think that's a little bit fun and thematic. So you can take an ambulance patient that has less in need patients. These dice are going to go from 2 to 5, with the 1 in 6 being re-rolled until they're out there. And whoever takes the lowest numbered ambulance, the one with the more sick patients, is going to get the first player token, so they'll have a little benefit in the coming phase. And this little blood bag, and it's kind of neat. This blood bag can help you heal a patient or change a die color in the future activations. Then you go on to improvements, so whoever got that first player token can either add a doctor to their hospital or can add a different department there. These departments let you do different actions to heal more people. Now your dice may have to be in certain orders and certain things to get those fulfilled, or you can add a doctor, which allows you an extra person and a special ability to go along with that. And then you go to the activation, which is, once again, one of my favorite things, is a simultaneous play. You're going to place your workers as the other person places their workers on their hospital, and you're really going to be able to get some of these patients from the ward, increase their die number by 1, and get them at least treated. Because anyone that's not treated, anyone you didn't touch in that round, is going to get worse. So in that neglect phase, the die phase may start at 4 and then it will go to 3 because you neglected that patient. And if a die ever reaches more than 6, they get discharged, and that's how you score points. So you have 12 ward spaces, 12 hospital beds that you'll be able to put these dice in. And over the course of the game, you'll try to discharge these people. And at the end of those will go back in the bag. At the end of the round, you'll take back all your workers, put all your patients who were treated but didn't reach that 6 plus, or that more than 6 ability, put them back in your ward and start the next round. After 8 rounds, whoever has the most points wins. So see a little bit more what I thought about the game. So the components in this game, they're actually pretty funny. They have these nurses and Dr. Meeples. A lot of dice come in the game, and you're thinking you're going to be rolling these dice. Well, they represent patients, and I really do think that's funny about this game, where the more sick they are, the lower the die number, and that's usually a bad sign. So I like these tiles. Once you add a department to the game, you add it to your hospital board and makes your hospital look a little bit bigger. The blood bags, toe tag tokens for anyone who dies if you have too many people in your ward, or you let one die go from 1 to 0. So the rules in this game, fairly straightforward. I really like the references in this game. This one card tells you a whole bunch. Yes, there's a lot of symbols in this game, but a lot of them are displayed on this card, and a lot of them are in the glossary of the rulebook itself. The turn sequence, pretty straightforward. Once you play one round, you can be like, oh, okay, this is how this works. So I really like the rules and references in this game. Setup really doesn't take too much time at all. You're really going to start off with a player board, a couple patients to start off with, and 3 nurses. And as the game progresses, that's when you're really going to add stuff to your board. Table space, this can definitely be played on a 3x3. We took up a lot more table space, but we do not need this much. So this is a nice compact game. Even though it does come in a little bit larger box, this can be played definitely on a small table space. The time it takes to play, I think our first game did take us an hour. However, I think any games, once you get this to the table, you can really get that in about 30 minutes. Our subsequent plays, we got to about 40 minutes, but we did really take our time and decide where we wanted this. And it's all in the activation is really where a lot of the time can be taken. So let's talk about the gameplay. I do like the gameplay. It is a little bit of a thinker in a way, but at the same time, not the most thought. Really, you're just trying to increase the die numbers and trying to treat as many dice or people as you can. And with these upgrade tiles, you're really trying to maximize their effect. Some you may be able to heal 3 red patients, but they all have to be the same number, and that can be just a department you have. Or you may want to try to intake more green dice, more green people, because you have that pharmacist, which really aids in the healing of green people. So it is a little bit of a thinker, but it is pretty basic as well. It doesn't need to be the most advanced kind of thick gameplay, but there is a little bit of thought in this game. And I think that really, it really shows you're really trying to discharge the most people in one turn that you can. There's a scoring at the end of each round on how many people you discharge. And if you can discharge a big group of people at once, you'll get more points and be rewarded. So, the hospital or the intake is kind of funny, where as the first player you can't take the most injured patients, but you don't want to take always the number 3, because the other person will be the first player. They'll get their blood bag, and I don't know, there's a lot to this game. They have an event deck, they have starting administrators you can have, so there's just enough to this game to kind of keep it lively and light. So I don't know, it seems pretty basic, but there's also a decent amount of thought in this game. So is there a lot of replayability though? There can be, but this is a game, you know what you're going to get when you get out of the box. You know how it's going to really play. The administrators can change some things up, but let's go on to the luck versus strategy. The die that come out of the bag and get on intake may just not go your way and may fall into the other person's lap. The departments may not be the departments of the most die colors you have, and same thing with the extra doctors that are going to come in. So there is a little bit of luck when it comes to this game, but it's a little bit of a dice rolling game, but it's still a lot of fun. So is this game good for 2? And I'd caveat that by saying my wife is in the medical field, and I do hear a lot of medical stories. So a lot of this stuff is kind of, I've heard it before, or this and that, and it's really relevant, to our lives. And so, knowing some of this stuff just kind of enhances it. If you're not really a big medical person, this probably won't sit super well with you if you don't know a lot about the medical field, or you don't really care a lot. But everything from the toe tags being on some of your fatalities you may have, or the blood bags, just for that extra, a lot of it's very thematic, in its own sense, if you're, in one of the medical fields. So I do like this game for 2. It's not the heaviest game, and it's not a necessity to have in the collection. I'm not going to say no to play this game, because like I said, we can play this game in about 40 minutes. And if you're really fast, you can probably play in about 30. But most of our games have taken about 40, and I don't know, it's just, it's a quick game to get to the table. It's pretty straightforward. You know what you're going to get when you play this box and you play this game. I don't know. I can't recommend this for everyone, but however, it's still a good solid game. So that's kind of my review on Dice Hospital. It's a fun game for 2. With 3 and 4, it may take you a little bit longer, but like I said, simultaneous play, I do love that. So during the main part of the phase, you put out your workers at the same time, and yeah, I think it's a fun, neat, thematic game. And if you have someone in the medical field that you like to play with, this may be right down their alley. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review on Dice Hospital, and until next time.